What's up, everybody? You already know who it is. It's DripGodDero, and I'm back at you guys with another bang. So in today's video, we will be ranking every player on the Toronto Raptors 2022-2023 roster. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Alright, so as you guys can see, we did switch over, and y'all see the tier list. It has 5 different categories, and the first category is stars of the team. The second category is very good player, deserves big minutes. The third category is decent rotational player, gives you solid minutes. The fourth category is fine for garbage time and development, and the last category is get them off the team. Now, these players will be in order from best to worst. Just so you guys know, I'm going to say it again. They will be in order from best to worst. So the person I have at number 1 on stars of the team, that's the player I feel like is the best player on the team. The player I have in fine for garbage time as the last player, or get them off the team as the last player, is the worst player on the team. So without further ado, let's get right into it. But before we get into it, hey man, give this video a like, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and all that good stuff for quality NBA content, because I made this tier list myself. And if you guys don't know, making these tier lists take some time. So let's get right back into it and let's get going. Alright, so as the player I feel like is the best on the team, I have my boy Pascal Siakam, and I have him in stars of the team. Now, I feel like it's pretty obvious that he is the best player on the Toronto Raptors. He is averaging the most points, and his game is just very well rounded. He has evolved his game a lot over these past couple of seasons. I think he's averaging around 26 points, around 7 rebounds, and possibly around 7 assists. If y'all want to know the exact stats and all that information, go check out my video I made before this, the Star Bench Cut. Shameless plug, man, but it's a Star Bench Cut episode where I Star Bench and cutted Pascal Siakam, Paul George, and Zach LaVine. So definitely go check that out, and let's keep it moving. As the second best player on the team, now this is going to be controversial. I know a lot of people are not going to like this, but as the second best player on the team, I have OG Anunoby, and I got him at stars of the team. Now, a lot of people would say the second best player on this team is Fred VanVleet. A lot of people would say the second best player on the team is Scotty Barnes. But me personally, I think the second best player on this team is OG Anunoby. Now, he is playing better than Fred VanVleet this year. There is no argument to it, while also providing better defense. Me personally, I have him in my defensive player of the year rankings. I feel like he's at least around top 5 in that top 5 range, me personally. But let's keep moving. As the third best player on this team, I have Fred VanVleet. Now, I could easily put Scotty Barnes in that third place, but I'm going to give it to Fred VanVleet just because of his track record. He has been a star in a previous year, so I do got to give him that. And I do feel like he's somewhat having a down year, let's be real. But I do feel like he can bounce back a little bit. But regardless, I got him as the third best player on the team. Right behind him, I have Scotty Barnes. Now, you could definitely argue him being in stars of the team, but I will have him as very good player, deserves big minutes right now. And yeah, he's definitely second year in the league, man. Plays great defense. Can pretty much do some of everything. A good passer, good rebounder. And his game is still developing. Do I feel like he's better than these players? As of yet, not really. Especially not these two right here. He could arguably be better than Fred VanVleet. But better than these two right here? Not yet, but over time, he can definitely be better than all of these players. So I got him as my 4th best player. As my 5th best player, I have Gary Trent Jr. Now, Gary Trent Jr., I like him a lot, but I wouldn't consider him a star of the team. I would have him as a very good player. He can shoot the 3 pretty well, but me personally, I feel like his defense is kind of overrated. I'm going to keep it real. I do feel like his defense is kind of overrated. So I got him as the 5th best player of the team. He provides something that this team tends to lack every now and then, which is solid 3-point shooting. Right behind him, I have Chris Boucher, and I have him at... should I put him at decent rotational player, gives you solid minutes, or would I put him at very good player, deserves big minutes? I think I'm going to put him up there with these guys. Now, there could be an argument for Precious Achiuwa being above Chris Boucher, but me personally, I got Chris Boucher as the 6th best player just because he does provide a lot of versatility. Now, he is getting up there in age, so I do want to note that. But other than that, definitely has a lot of energy. He is an energy guy, plays hard. Kind of small. I think he's around like 6'8", 6'9", so he can get pushed around every now and then, but he's still pretty versatile when it comes to defense, and he can shoot the 3 also. So I got him as the 6th best player. Right behind him, I have the previously mentioned Precious Achiuwa. Now, he's another big man, and I like him because he is very athletic, plays good defense. His game does need to develop a little bit more, but he's definitely a solid player and deserves some solid minutes. Right behind him, I have Otto Porter Jr. Now, there could be an argument that Otto Porter Jr. should be higher than Precious Achiuwa and also even Chris Boucher. But I'm going to have him right behind those 2 players right now just because he has been injured. If he wasn't injured, he could possibly be above both of those players just with the amount of diversity that he provides for the team, being able to shoot and not being such a dominant player with the ball. We seen what he provided with Golden State, which was great, you know, just being that perfect role player style of player. And yeah, if he wasn't injured, he might be higher than Precious Achiuwa, but I'm going to leave him right there right now. Right behind him, I'm going to have Thaddeus Young. Now, I got Thaddeus Young here because he also provides a veteran presence similar to Otto Porter. He provides good minutes and good defense. I know he can be kind of ball hoggish in a sense, but regardless of that, all you really have to do is just play him with a rotational players that don't need the ball as much. So I definitely feel like he does provide some decent minutes. And yeah, I got him as the 9th best player on this team. As the 10th best player on this team, I have Christian Koloko. Now, the reason I have him as the 10th best player is because he provides something that the Toronto Raptors need drastically, which is a 7-footer. Now, this has been one of the flaws in this team for the past 2 years, but he definitely provides that. He's still pretty young, so he does need to develop a little bit more. And I could actually put him at fine for garbage time and development, but I will leave him a decent rotational player just because he's pretty good when it comes to certain matchups. So, for example, a bad matchup for a team like the Raptors would be the Philadelphia 76ers because of Joel Embiid, or the Denver Nuggets because of Nikola Jokic. And he can be a big body that can deter them from the rim a little bit and at least try to slow players of that level down. So I do have him at that, but he is still young, so he definitely needs to develop a little bit more. But Christian Coloco is my 10th best player on this team. As the 11th best player on the team, I have Malachi Flynn. Now, I got him at decent rotational player, gives you solid minutes as well. Something to notice that he has really upped his three-point percentage this year, which is great. Hopefully, he can keep that percentage pretty high. I think it's actually close to 40% or over 40% from three, which, like I said, is great. It's not on that many attempts. I think it's on around like probably around 2 attempts per game. But he is a decent young player, provides decent minutes. And yeah, hopefully he can keep building on this momentum and just keep playing well. All right. So, as the 12th best player on this team. Now, a lot of people are not going to like this. I'm going to say it again. A lot of people are not going to like this. But as the 12th best player on the team, I have Hancho Hernangomez. Now, the reason I have him right here, and I don't even have him at decent rotational player, gives you solid minutes. I got him for fine for garbage time / development. Is because me personally, I feel like he may be one of the most overrated players in the NBA. Yeah. Now, before you Toronto fans kill me or butcher me personally, I feel like he just doesn't provide enough, man. Let's keep it real. He has been on multiple teams. They all seen some type of potential in him, but each time he does have the opportunity, it seems like he doesn't take advantage of it, especially with this team in the Toronto Raptors. With him, you have to understand that he has been on multiple teams. He's 27 years old, and he's been on at least like 4 or 5 different teams. And I know we've seen a lot of potential with him when it came to him playing for Utah, but this year he just has actually taken a step back, and it's not like he's not getting minutes. He's getting a decent amount of minutes. I think he's playing around 18 minutes per game or more. So he's getting minutes to actually show his worth for a team, but he's actually playing worse than he was on Utah. So with that being said, I got him at fine for garbage time and development. He's just not showing me enough. I feel like he's overrated. Right behind him, I have Khem Birch. Now, Khem Birch, I feel like he just one of those older players that provide a veteran presence. He's not that good to me. I'm just going to keep it real. He's just not that good to me. I feel like he is a little overrated when it comes to Toronto fans as well. So I got him right behind Juancho Hernangomez. Right behind Khem Birch, I do have Justin Champagnie. I do have him right behind Khem Birch just because he is a young player. He is in his second year in the league. And I got him at fine for garbage time / development because we haven't really seen much out of him this year. He has been injured. So that's a knock right there. And because of that, it's pretty hard to actually gauge how good of a player he is. But just based on what we've seen the year before, it does look like he is a solid player. He does provide some decent shooting as well. So I do want to note that, and I do have him at this position on the list. All right, right behind him, I do have Delano Benton. Now, I got him right here at fine for garbage time and development because although we don't really have much of a sample size when it comes to him, I do want to just note his size. He is 6'9", so with him being that size, there is a lot of potential for him to be a pretty solid defender. But as of right now, we still need to see a little bit more out of him. So I will just leave it at that when it comes to Delano Benson. Right behind him, I have Jeff Doden. Now, Jeff Doden, he has been on a couple of teams, but he does have potential to provide a little spark plug off the bench. He is 6'3", and let's keep it real. this team, they don't really have too many ball handlers besides players like Fred VanVleet and also Malachi Flynn. So I definitely feel like he has potential. He just needs more development. So development is key when it comes to him. The last player on the list, I have Ron Harper Jr. We just need to see more out of him. He's still young. So with this tier list, there actually wasn't any player on get them off the team. So that's great for the Toronto Raptors. They don't have to feel that shame just yet. But hey, let's recap every player on this list and then I'll close out. All right, so just to recap these players. At number 1, I have Pascal Siakam as the best player on the team for the Toronto Raptors. At number 2, I have OG Anunoby as the second best player on the team. At number 3, I have Fred VanVleet as the third best player on the team. At number 4, I have Scotty Barnes. At number 5, I have Gary Trent Jr. At number 6, I have Chris Boucher. At number 7, I have Precious Achiuwa. At number 8, I have Otto Porter Jr. At number 9, I have Thaddeus Young. At number 10, I have Christian Koloko. At number 11, I have Malachi Flynn. At number 12, I have Hancho Hernangomez. At number 13, I have Kim Birch. At number 14, I have Justin Champangi. At number 15, I have Delano Benson. At number 16, I have Jess Doden. And at number 17, as the worst player on this list, I have Ron Harper Jr. But if you enjoyed this video, please like the freaking video, comment on the freaking video, subscribe to the freaking channel, turn on notifications and all that good stuff, and tell me what order you would rank these players in the comments down below. But with that, I'm out. Peace.